Good morning, everyone. I hope that you're feeling well. Soon we are going to start our lecture. First half hours are going to be on YouTube Live, and then we are going to continue using Zoom. So let me ask you whether you can see me, if you can hear me. Thank you. I'm scheduling the Zoom meeting right now. And today's Zoom meeting, I just shared the link on the Google Class platform. Okay, very good, very good. So it is really, really nice to see you. Today's first 30 minutes are going to be streaming on this platform, and then for like 15 minutes we can use Zoom. I just shared the link to the Zoom meeting on the Google Class. So let us begin. We have so many things to talk about today regarding the curriculum. So let's start. There are some topics we still haven't covered during this semester, such as being digital, or is Gutenberg Galaxy the past? There is also the issue of legal and ethical questions using new media and social media. And finally, the question arises whether we should pay or not for the curriculum, or text or images or content that can be accessed online. And it is also an important issue if the worth of digital content is the same as if in the case of printed books. Okay, I have a book I have written about these issues. It is in Hungarian. As you can see, this is my name. So we cannot exactly use it, but nevertheless, I study these topics. So good morning to everyone. I can see how many good mornings they are, and smileys. So great to see you. I have heard that maybe the situation is getting better. So regarding the coronavirus, so we have something to smile about. So the first topic I'm going to cover today is the issue of Gutenberg Galaxy. Uh, I'm pretty sure you have heard about the expression Gutenberg Galaxy, and we have talked about it for a little during our real classes. I mean classroom classes. And what's interesting here is that Johannes Gutenberg in 15th century, in 1450, invented the printing press, a device that actually started the scientific and cultural revolution. And for 5 centuries, for 500 years, this device that was used to print books This is also a journal I'm editing nowadays, and I'm just showing it to you that still the books are here for 500 years now. The domination of books was actually unprecedented. Even when the radio came, radio couldn't replace books. For us, it is quite normal to live surrounded by printed materials. I think all of us have our bookshelves. When we enter school, we start learning using books. In pedagogy, for example, there are three key elements: the student, the teacher, and the books. So, so what happened? What happened in these 50 years where when books stopped being the only real source of information? First of all came the radio. Okay, it changed the way how we communicate, actually how the media communicates with us, how media sends information to us, and so on. But the biggest advantage of books was that it didn't have to meet us in real time. What I'm trying to say is the radio broadcasts information, and we have to be there in order to listen to it. Of course, we have some techniques of recording nowadays, of recording quite easily the radio broadcasts, but still, books are uh, non-synchronized, not real-time sources of information, as David Merlin would say, our outsourced memory. I don't want to bother you with theory, and good morning to Sudai as well. But it's really interesting to see how for 500 years the humankind managed to keep its knowledge in books. Books helped us not only preserve knowledge, rather share it with others through time and space. Uh, just a bit of theory. David Merlin says that they are four different periods in cultural evolution, uh, and the mimetic, the mythic, the theoretical one, and the theoretical culture has been actually the theoretical culture is characterized by books. Now we can send our knowledge through time to the generations that are coming, and to people who are living in each and every part of the world. The television made a similar impact, but it's again a real-time media where you have to sit in front of the television to receive the news or information. Of course, there are some recording techniques as well. For example, the VHS system that became really popular in somewhere in the 90s, 80s, uh, 80s actually, and in 90s everyone had a VCR recorder, uh, helped us record TV shows. It was an analog device. It wasn't a digital one. It wasn't a smart one. You could already program. I don't know if you have. So the first question for today is: have you used a VCR video cassette recorder? Have you ever used one? Yes, we have one hard yes. No, we have one no. Two yes, two for yes, one for no. Two and two. So it is drawn. And while the answers arrive, we have more no's than yes. While the answers arrive, uh, those who have used it and in whose life it came like a novelty, they can actually appreciate the new feature. So we have five no's and two yes. Thank you. So uh, you have to live through an age and you have to experience things to really comprehend what they mean. For example, when I was an elementary school student, uh, I dreamt of having a VCR. So when it arrived, it had incredible features, and now we have six no's. Uh, Incredible features like you could record the TV show, the quality wasn't the same. One, two, you could program it, but what if it didn't start on time, on the exact time? You will lose, for example, the end of the show or film and so on. But still, it was an amazing thing that you yourself you could archive stuffs you were interested in. You could record things. You could you could save it for later and so on. It was something amazing. So the television that was real time and video recording that became popular changed the way how people used information, how they receive news, and so on. So that's why Marshall McLuhan, a Canadian media theorist and philosopher, wrote his book Gutenberg Galaxy, The End of Typographical Man, where he wrote some really interesting things, new things, like that the age of books has coming to an end. We're talking about 60s, 70s, later 80s, like Neil Postman, for example. Neil Postman wrote his famous books on television in 80s. And going back to Marshall McLuhan, who said that medium is the message, means that the medium itself carries the novelty. It can actually say or determine or set up the rules how some messages can pass and how some messages cannot. So as we can see, there has been a huge change when the television arrived, and somewhere in the 80s, Neil Postman, as I mentioned, he wrote a famous book on television where he actually didn't really encourage people watching television, and he said that the knowledge doesn't fit well on the screen. What? Uh, One would say that the knowledge fits well on a book, right? It's quite normal that we can get our knowledge from books. What about screens? And and I'm pretty sure that when the first home computers arrived, somewhere in the 80s, like Commodore 64, ZX Spectrum, Atari, Altair, later Amiga, uh, they were mostly used for playing computer games. But also, you could already reach some databases, and the Commodore 64 had its learning apps, of course nothing serious, and even there were some simulations. You could run a simulation of a nuclear power plant and learn how it works, or several engineering trainings could be accomplished using uh, computers and digital technology. And later came the personal computers, PCs. You are all using. Even an Apple computer can be called a PC. It's not an IBM infrastructure completely, but it's quite similar. So so then came the PCs and changed the way how people think about knowledge. So the end of Gutenberg Galaxy means basically that the age of books has passed. It doesn't mean that books have been gone. I'm completely surrounded here by books, uh, and maybe if I showed you around, you would see that books are everywhere, right? Even here, but still, the way how we get our information is is a hybrid way. It's a mixture of screens and printed materials. So the age of Gutenberg Galaxy is nothing to be afraid of, but there are several changes that we are going to witness through time. For example, in South Korea, not in North, in South Korea, the kids, when they go to school, they don't carry heavy backpacks anymore. Oh, they don't carry bags at all. They have laptops in school and they carry tablets. And on these tablets, there are their books, the curriculum they are actually used to. So when I went to school as a kid, I had to carry a heavy bag. My kids, they carry heavy bags to school as well. But South Koreans or kids in Singapore or or even there are some examples in Europe where, for example, in Norway they have, or in Finland they have so many digitized curriculum that even education it's starting to change. Also, when we think of media, primarily we don't think of newspapers anymore. For centuries, newspapers represented media. And now, first, when we hear media, we think of television and we think of new media or internet. So there are some expressions that are mixing here. Internet is basically the network where information flows, where it's organized, shared, and so on. And we have the World Wide Web. World Wide Web, what we are using here is World Wide Web as well. World Wide Web can be presented in the browsers, and it's always a visual based information source. So this is World Wide Web. The protocol for World Wide Web is hypertext markup language, and we have to know the universal resource locators or URLs in order, excuse me, in order to reach a website, a homepage, and the information on it. We don't have to memorize these websites. We just have to bookmark them, or we can just simply click on the links. So inside World Wide Web, there is the new media or social media or Web 2.0 expressions that are basically describing one and the same thing. And the essence of new media is that nowadays users are becoming prosumers or content makers. What does it mean? It means that, excuse me, that was just a notification for Zoom that's going to start. So it means that all of you can make content, can publish content, and it's quite opposite to something in Gutenberg Galaxy. When I started working on my second book, this is called Online History of Communication, on Internet Communication Media, History, Theory, and Phenomena of Internet Communication and Media. You cannot see it, but well, when I started working on my book and I shared it with editors, they just simply dissected it, destroyed it completely into pieces, and wrote their comments and said what I should change. So in traditional media, there are editors. In Gutenberg Galaxy, there are editors who are going to tell you whether a book can be published or not. In new media, you are the editors. You decide if something can be published, if you can publish something, or if something is that is published should be more valuable, should gather more attention, and so on. For example, if you follow someone on Twitter, and if there are enough followers, that person becomes popular. This is the way how in new media a celebrity, a star, or influencer, an opinion leader is born. This is not the way how it has been done in Gutenberg Galaxy or in case of television, for example. Television is a brand new industry compared to the Gutenberg Galaxy, because there the editors, the movie makers, the producers, the leaders of the television studios, TV channels, they are all working inside an enterprise, inside the company, and mostly the values of the company, the interests of the company are those which are in focus. In case of Gutenberg Galaxy, it's much more complicated and easier at the same time. We don't have so many huge publishing houses, or even if we have, they are not so centralized. There are some publishers like Oxford University Press. I'm just looking at my bookshelf if I can show you. Or in Hungary, we have five or six really important publishers, but the Hungarian Academy of Sciences, or we have the Dutch publishing house Wolters Kluwer, or we had Osiris and so on, five or six of them, but they are not so influential. So in case of television, we have influential TV channels. For example, there is a very popular nowadays, very popular TV reality game contest called Exathlon. Have you heard about Exathlon? Exathlon. So it's not a format that exists in Germany. No. Okay. Okay. Exathlon. Uh, okay. I'm going to share it. It's a it's a Turkish reality contest, sports contest TV format, and what it's really interesting is that, or okay, uh, America, or another TV show, America Got Talent, Megastar, Megastar. These are international formats. And in case of Exatlon, for example, it's a Turkish format, Turkish license. And even if when there is a Hungarian version, uh, people who are working as editors, they are working inside Turkey. They have to be there, so the complete knowledge, know-how won't leave the country or the company itself. So what I'm trying to say is that in the online world, we are witnessing birth of huge companies. We haven't seen a company of Facebook size never before in case of television, and not in case of Gutenberg Galaxy or printed books. That is something brand new. Google, Facebook, Amazon, Twitter, some subsidiaries like YouTube, uh, Instagram, in case of Facebook, they are larger, bigger, more powerful than any TV stations. Even CNN wasn't as powerful. BBC. So we have some new companies, and they have models how to get more money than in the case of Gutenberg Galaxy as well. So just to summarize, the financial issues in case of Gutenberg Galaxy are really important, because if you want to publish a book, if you want to publish a book, well, you in Hungary at least, you have to bring the funds, you have to bring the funding to the publisher, and the publisher is then going to publish your book, but you actually won't receive too much money from the royalty. So basically, you won't earn money like in the TV show Bones. In case of social media, things are different. You don't have to pay anything to publish your stuff online. And if you're good, I mean, if you're good in the eyes of a nation of internet, then you will receive a lot of likes, you will receive a lot of comments, you will have a lot of followers, you will become famous, and you can earn money doing that. So these are the differences between Gutenberg Galaxy, TV Galaxy, or McLuhan Galaxy, as I would say, and Internet Galaxy or Google Galaxy, Facebook Galaxy, name it. You just pick a company to put the name in front of. Okay, so I think that for today this was the video session, and I have sent you the link. I have sent you the link on Zoom, and just let me send it here again, and see you in a couple of minutes on Zoom. Those who don't want to, you don't have to turn on the camera. It's completely fine. If you wish, you can turn on the microphone. If you don't want to turn the microphone on, you can just write on Zoom. But I think it's worth of having some kind of conversation, at least using your microphone. So thank you very much, and see you on the Zoom channel. Who is going to come and have a Zoom meeting? It's 15 minutes. It's 15 minutes. See you on Zoom. Goodbye for just a minute.